when you're out there on the campaign trail, you're trying to bring us all together. You're trying to make America better. Why can't we work together? This is why we can't work together. Because some people, when it comes to the tough decisions, back away.
Now, the notion that somehow that guts the bill or destroys the bill is simply disingenuous. And it's engaging in the sort of histrionics that is entirely inappropriate for this debate.
Folks, that was late last night, and the issue was a measure that the Senate had voted down a couple of weeks ago, which would have ended the guest worker provision in the immigration bill, the guest worker program, after 5 years. A lot of Republicans favor the guest worker program. A lot of Republican employers favor the guest worker program. It has been a key part of this delicately structured compromise, as it's been called. And Lindsey Graham, who is out on a limb and in hot water with a lot of his constituents for backing this bill, watched as Barack Obama, who purports to be the guy who wants to get things done, push this amendment and managed to get it passed. That has been thought that is maybe the killer amendment that ends the fate of this bill, but we'll see. Some thoughts on all this now from Fred Barnes, executive editor of the Weekly Standard, Mara Liasson, national political correspondent of National Public Radio, and Mort Kondracki, executive editor of Roll Call, Fox News contributors, all. That, of course, Obama, in fighting to get that measure put into the bill, that sunset provision as it's called, was certainly not making any enemies with organized labor. So where does it all stand now? Is this bill really at death's door and about to expire?
Well, tonight there's going to be a cloture vote, and we'll see. If enough Republicans peel off and enough Democrats obviously don't support the bill too, then it's going to go down.
Well,
they needed 60 votes.
If cloture is invoked, that means you proceed to pass the bill, right?
Right.
But can the bill pass in this form?
No, look, before cloture depends entirely on one thing, and that is if deals can be worked out on a couple of these amendments that have already passed. One is the one that the one that sunsets the temporary workers program that Graham and Obama were fighting over, and that one everybody knew it was a poison pill. Dorgan had tried it before.
Byron Dorgan, fellow Democrat with Barack Obama.
He tried it before. It lost by 1 vote before Memorial Day. He tinkered with it a little, brought it up again. And then it was a poison pill designed to kill the bill. You know, people who really wanted to kill the bill, like Jim DeMint and Jim Bunning, both Republican senators, and Elizabeth Dole of North Carolina, all three of them want to kill the bill. They joined it. They voted in favor of Dorgan because they knew it was a poison pill. But who else did? Obama, Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, the Democratic presidential candidates. Chris Dodd was not voting. He wasn't there. And all the Democratic leaders, Harry Reid, Dick Durbin, and Chuck Schumer, they all voted for this poison pill, knowing that it could kill the bill. These people who claim they're for immigration reform.
Just to be fair and balanced about this, though, however, the Democrats got mad at the Republicans because some of the sponsors of the so-called grand bargain voted previously for a John Cornyn from Texas bill, which would have eliminated the confidentiality provision when people come forward to get a Z visa, and if they disclose that they violated the law in some way, that could be turned over to law enforcement. And this was a Cornyn amendment that would permit that to happen, and the Democrats all got mad.
I thought that was a deal breaker.
No, but that was a deal. Oh, no, it did not fail. Mort's exactly right.
It did not fail.
Mort, I'm trying to support you here. It's exactly right. It won with about 57 votes. It won overwhelmingly. It has to be repaired as well. So, if those things are fixed, then there will be a vote for cloture, and all the Republicans will vote for it. But if they aren't fixed,
then the bill has a real chance of passing. Mara, what do you think? Yeah. Mara, we need to get you in here.
I think that this bill is more threatened than it was 24 hours ago. I don't know if these things can be fixed, as Fred said, and you can pass different versions of these. It still might go forward and get out of the Senate. I think the big question is we know that a large number of Republicans don't want this bill to pass. Up until now, my understanding was that the Democrats as a group felt that this was a good political thing to do. In other words, to pass this bill would be good for them, even though it gives George Bush a certain kind of victory. Now that's called into question.
I mean, your view, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Mara,
well,
so
I mean, I think they're taking a risk.
If they decide it's better politics to have no bill? A lot of they know that that's the way a lot of Republicans look at it.
Yes, that is the question that this raises. I think that
so would they rather have some kind of payback on the Republicans than a bill?
I think in Democratic thinking, this issue is bad for Republicans, whether this bill passes or not. Look at the Republican Party; it's split over this. But up until now, I believe that Democrats felt, on the whole, it was better for them.
What has happened to change their minds? Organized labor weighed in.
I think that on some of these, organized labor wanted these votes. Maybe the Democrats felt they could vote for these amendments and the bill would still stand.
Yeah, they had to look. They had to make a lot of deals. Everybody, in order for this bill to pass, people are going to have to swallow things they don't like, and people don't know whether it's worth doing. Now, one last thing: 2 new polls today. I keep flogging these. Fox News poll indicates that do you favor or oppose giving legal immigrants who pay taxes and obey the law a second chance to allow them to be in the United States? 67% say yes. And a similar poll with Pew.
Won't give it up on the polls. We agree on this issue. The polls, it depends on how you ask the questions. You can get polls that show just the opposite.
These are accurate representative. They are accurate representations of the way the American people feel.
There has never been an issue that I know of where the way you ask the question determines the answer.
Morty, the problem with weighing this by polls is you don't know how strongly those people feel
People who care about this are generally against it. Yes, people who care about this are generally against it. But it's also true that the public wants Congress to do something and do things. And here is a big one.
Next up with a